Welcome to The Explainer. We're about to zero in on one single, absolutely chaotic year that didn't just change music, it completely broke it and then rebuilt it from the ground up.
So let's just jump right in with a huge question. What if the entire music world that you and I live in today, what if it was all born in the fire of just one single crazy year?
Because that's our whole premise here. 2003 wasn't just another tick on the calendar. Nope. It was the definitive fracture point, the exact moment the old music world shattered into a million pieces, and our new one, the one we're living in right now, was born.
To really get why, we have to start where these things always start, with the money. Or, in this case, the complete lack of it. The industry's entire business model was in an absolute, undeniable freefall.
Just look at this number. 31%. From the middle of 2000 to the end of 2003, the value of all music being shipped in the US just plummeted. This wasn't some slow leak, It was a complete nosedive, and it was all thanks to the ghost of Napster and the rise of file sharing.
And everything was happening so fast. The old guard was just collapsing in real time. But right in the middle of all that chaos, two totally different ideas for the future popped up. And they were launched just 5 months apart.
And they could not have been more different. You had the music industry, through the RIA, using the stick. They were literally suing grandmothers and college kids. But then you had Apple, a tech company, offering the carrot, a super simple, legal way to just buy the songs you wanted. And what Apple proved was that piracy wasn't really about stealing, it was a service problem. People were more than willing to pay, as long as you made it easy.
Okay, now this is where it gets really interesting. Because while the business model was basically on fire, one genre wasn't just surviving. It was absolutely thriving. It was taking over everything. And as we're about to see, it was creating the last true monoculture music would ever have.
So, just how dominant was it? Well, it really all comes down to this one number, 10 out of 10. And this might be one of the most revealing stats in all of modern music history. So what does it mean?
The entire year-end top 10, every single song. This wasn't just a trend, you guys. This was a complete cultural takeover by hip-hop, by R&B, and dancehall. The charts were just confirming what everybody already knew in their gut. This was the sound of the mainstream, period.
And right at the heart of it all was 50 Cent. His backstory alone, surviving being shot 9 times, it was pure mythology. So Get Rich or Die Trying wasn't just an album, it was a cultural event that basically wrote the new playbook for what a modern superstar could be.
And the crazy thing is, it wasn't just one sound. At the exact same time 50 was running the streets, you had Outkast putting out this wildly experimental double album that actually won the biggest award in music. And then there was Beyoncé launching her global solo empire with an absolutely flawless pop soul record.
But here's what might be the most incredible part. What was going on behind the scenes? Get this. One production duo, the Neptunes, that's Pharrell Williams and Chad Hugo, they produced an unbelievable 43% of all the music played on American radio that year. 43%. Their sound, that kind of brittle, futuristic funk, it was the sonic glue holding the entire pop world together. But, while hip-hop looked like this one unified force, the rest of the music world was doing the exact opposite. It was splintering into all these warring tribes, basically setting the stage for the fragmented culture we all live in today.
So in rock music, there was this huge fight going on over authenticity. You had the raw, gritty garage rock of the White Stripes, who famously recorded their album Elephant on old-school analog gear. And on the other side, you had the super polished digital sound of nu metal bands like Linkin Park, who were still selling millions of records. It was a battle for the very soul of what rock was supposed to be.
But the deepest, ugliest split was happening in country music. And it all got lit on fire by this one sentence, spoken on a stage in London just 9 days before the US invaded Iraq.
And the backlash was just immediate and vicious. This wasn't just a few angry fans. This was a coordinated move by massive media companies to completely erase an artist from the airwaves. It was really a chilling preview of that intersection between politics, media, and music that we now just call cancel culture.
And right into that void that was left by the Dixie Chicks' exile stepped Toby Keith. His album, Shockin' Y'all, and the song American Soldier became the anthems for a huge part of the country. He didn't just get famous, he basically cemented the modern political identity of mainstream country music.
So,
What's the big takeaway from all this? How did all these fights, the tech fights, the creative ones, the political ones, how did they all come together to create the world that we listen to music in today?
Well, when you boil it all down, 2003 was the pivot point. It was that messy, chaotic, beautiful moment where the 20th century music industry, built on selling shiny plastic discs, had a head-on collision with the 21st century model, digital, fragmented, and ready for the algorithm.
And you can see the legacy of that 1 year everywhere now. The whole iTunes model made the single, not the album, the king of pop. The internet and those culture wars blew the mainstream up into a million different little niches. And, maybe most importantly, 2003 was really the last breath of artistic mystery before social media came along and put every single star under a permanent microscope. Which leaves us with one final thought to chew on. That one big shared culture that pretty much defined the 20th century, it was destroyed. But in its place, we got the infinite, endless choice that we have today. So the question is, was it worth it?